I've got Cascade Beans. Um, Cascade Beans was not one I really expected to look super good when I started to build it, but you do actually get to play more ban cards than initially it looks like. You get to play Beanstalk, Simian Spirit Guide, Violent Outburst, and Fury. We're actually main decking 16 banned cards, and I feel like this is maybe going to be a deck that like attacks the format from a pretty unique angle, where you just have a you're not like super weak to any individual piece of interaction besides maybe something like Vexing Bauble, but those cards you even have Leyline Binding for, Force of Negation, Witch Enchanter for, and you're just like, you're Cascade Beans, card advantage plus interaction until your opponent's dying. Also, we get to play Quantum Riddler now, which is not something we had when that was legal. So I think this is what we're playing second. Okay, we can keep this. The tap Zagoth Triome is a big pain. We're on the draw against Aluris also. Oh my! Today is gonna be fun. I don't know if we're gonna do a second no banlist modern stream, but today will be fun. Yeah, I don't know how long it's on Magic Online either. Have I thought about a Titan Cloud Post stack? A little bit. I thought maybe a little bit more about a different Amulet Cloud Post build than Titan. It does seem like the quantity of green mana seems tough. Okay, you want to probe before you surveil. If I do draw an untapped land, I don't know if I want to use it to cast a turn 1 Beanstalk or not. I don't draw a land, I draw a Simian Spirit Guide. Lyris Energy, oh no. Could this be Storm? Storm with Lyris. Okay. Do I hope that they can't kill me next turn? Yeah, I don't think I'm supposed to evoke a Fury and just hope that the next card is a Force of Negation. Although yeah, I think I'm supposed to wait one turn, then Beanstalk, then I can start cycling through my deck to try to find forces. Luris Storm. This seems like they tried to explore unbans for the modern format, to be honest. I mean, it's possible. I don't know how good a metric a queue like this is to explore unbans, but it's definitely it's not nothing, and it's not it's not the best either. So I don't know. Okay, they Seething Song, Impulse, 3 mana floating. They find a Wooded Foothills and a Desperate Ritual, 4 cards in hand, and a Desperate Ritual. They Reckless Impulse into Gitaxian Probe and Rin's Resolve. So they need a Rite of Flame to continue here. Zerul with the tier 1, they do have a Rite of Flame. Then they cast the Reckless Impulse, and they're going to be waiting for next turn. So now we get to start churning through our deck a bunch. Another Simian Spirit Guide. So it's cast a Beanstalk. And then my goal here is to find some Force of Negations. I'm going to evoke a Fury. And Fury is just 0 mana, draw 2. Or you pitch 2 cards, draw 2. So I just want to keep as many of these as possible. Maybe I guess I'll Solitude my own Fury here now, though. So I get to gain some life. Still no Force of Negation. Get to draw 2 more cards here. Okay, I did not find a Force of Negation. I attack for 2. Yeah, I don't think Uro's going to be super good in No Banlist Modern. But I think Uro will be super good in regular Modern, which is part of the reason why I don't exactly think No Banlist Modern is the best metric for unbanning stuff. But I mean, it's not nothing. Logan with the 27 months, thank you, welcome back. Appreciate Jim. All right, so they Rin's Resolve, they Ritual. Sorry, they have 3 cards in hand and a Rin's Resolve and Exile, 1 mana floating. They hit a Ral and a Past in Flames, although they're going to need multiple rituals in their hand to be able to go Ral into Past in Flames here. Maybe we've goofed by using our Solitude. I don't think so. I think it was fine with me to use it when we did. Okay, there's one little ritual. They're gonna need to make 2 more mana, so they need any ritual will do it. Seething Song and Rite of Flame included. They flip the Rao with a storm count of 5, which seems a little aggressive. They plus the Rao. Then they Seething Song, Passive Flames win the game. All right. I don't believe there's an all access pass. Okay, so let's cut our Furies. Try to cut our Furies. Do I want maybe I don't know if I want Force of Negation or sorry, Force of Vigor. I think I just want these endurances. You should try Uro, Nadu, Oko in the same list. The problem is if you're playing Nadu, like, I don't know what the point of playing those other 2 are. I always have an all-access pass. Not really anymore. They took away the play points they give the Daybreak accounts. So it's like it's just I mean I incinerate tickets even more than I usually do playing on it because I can't sell any of the stuff I open. So now I only use the account for access events, which is fine. Or not access events, just the new set release, which is fine. I spend some money on it. Happy to. Albert Whiskey, the 5 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you. Minor edge, you should crack the fetch to thin the tiniest amount. Yeah, I guess so. I didn't end up adding any surveillance because of the bindings. Maybe that's wrong. Am I insane or really not that good in deck? You need blue cards, and I mean it's good with Beanstalk, I think. Maybe it's not very good. So we could go turn 1 Beanstalk, turn 2 Riddler, draw 2. Not gonna lie, I kind of expect you to ignore no Banlist Modern. I don't know. I like to have fun. It's contrary to popular belief. You know, I wasn't uninterested in pre-modern either, but it's a lot easier for me to sit down and build decks for this format because I know the cards in this format. Compared to sitting down to build decks for pre-modern where I have to learn almost every single card. So do I need to draw a land? I'll draw a land. Yeah, I like the Timeless a lot. It was just like not super sustainable. Okay, we find a Force of Negation. Maybe the best draw in the deck, even though it's not a land. They had a Ritual, and they had a Glimpse the Impossible. I think Glimpse is maybe kind of bad in this version, by the way. I feel like you do want to be able to like have this stuff available for next turn. Kind of, maybe that's not that big a deal. All right, pass him back. Is a Daybreak account not worth it just for the not having time renting cards? It used to be sometimes on days like this where I would switch a lot of decks. Now it's like you just lose money every single time you play it, which is not great. And then you also don't get QPs, which is not great either. Yeah, but I don't think I like Glimpse very much in No Banlist Modern. I think that it's maybe more of a cost than you would expect. All right, let's force that. Not playing Leyline Scion, no. I don't think Leyline Scion's very good in this format because people are not attacking and blocking. Oh, they Rite of Flame. Okay, so they can Ritual Glimpse, I suppose. Seething Song. They hit a Rao, they hit a Rin's Resolve, and they hit a Gemstone Caverns. They can play the Caverns next turn. They play the Rao, so a Sacred Foundry or a fetch land for Sacred Foundry. Or Solitude are what we're looking for here. Maybe I should have mulliganed this hand. I'm a little bean flooded. Is Hogak any good in No Banlist Smart? I don't know. I don't know. But maybe. Yeah, Glimpse being 1 turn only, I think, is kind of rough for the card. Maybe I'm wrong though. So they got 3 cards in their hand, and they got this Reckless Impulse. They hit a Wish and they hit a Mire. Oh, right, the cavern was off of Glimpse. They surveil first, definitely not a big sign of strength, is it? But then they Manamorphose, which is a big sign of strength. And they Rinse Resolve. They hit a Probe and they hit a Ruby Medallion. So that Probe, being able to see my endurance means they're not going to just run into Past in Flames or run out the Past in Flames. What did they put in Storm for no Banlist Modern? Some combination of Rite of Flame, Seething Song, Ataxian Probe. I didn't end up playing Probe in my build. I don't know how good it is. Do you have a Beans Cruise deck planned for today? No, I don't think those two. I mean, there's some synergy, obviously, but for the most part, I don't think you want to plan to play both those cards in the same deck. Is City only damn play no Banlist? It just depends on how today goes. Depends. But I'm open to playing it for more. All right, they Wish with 2 mana available. And they Desperate Ritual in response to the Wish. So if they win either of these flips, they get to ultimate the Rao. They did win the first flip. I'm going to try Red Belcher. It's not like technically on my queue, but I mean, we could. I'm going to concede. Let's keep moving. So in Necro, you are playing Grief? I don't know what else you'd be playing. I feel like there's like an obvious one I'm forgetting, but I'm forgetting it, so I don't know what it is. Ring? I guess so. It's probably it. Oh, Chromox. Yeah, Chromox is definitely it. Chromox seems nuts. All right, they take my Force. Shaman. I don't know that I would play Shaman. Maybe I'd play Shaman. Not the worst. Okay, I guess we'll just hold up Binding off a second Triome here. Yeah, I thought about putting a building Glimpse. I ended up not getting around to it. So you would play Glimpse and you'd play you'd play Once Upon a Time probably. Do you think Yorion Soup with Astrolabe, Beanstalk, etc. is too slow? I don't know. I think it's not something most people are going to try to starting with, but it's also not the kind of deck that you can really build until you understand the format. Maybe we get Shadowed out of here. That'd be so gross. Nice that could just theoretically answer a Necro. What if they play Bowmaster? Binding is a good draw too. Could go Agent into Binding next turn if they play Necro. Cascade Beans as Yorion deck would be nuts. So I thought about building it as a Yorion deck, and I did end up feeling like it didn't seem correct. It seems like when you build a deck this way, you just have infinite draw, and you just want to maximize drawing your premium interaction, I think. Do I cycle the Fury here? Probably fine to cycle Fury. I guess I'll get a Plains first. Don't want to draw the Plains. I did look at Reality Anchor with Airship. I ended up thinking it wasn't that interesting. Kind of slow and clunky, and I didn't want that many 4-drops. But no, yeah, I have an Oops All Spells build I'm kind of excited for. Could 1 Chromox be worthwhile? So the problem with Chromox is if you play it, then all of a sudden you open yourself up to or sorry, you cascade into it. You can't play Chromox in this build. Is this a surprise treat stream? Yeah, today we get to have fun. They take my Binding. They pitched a Grief to this Grief here. And then are they going to play Necro? They play Chromox into Ring, maybe? Cool. So I only have 2 bindings left in the deck. Although I have a good bit of card draw still available to me here. Do I want to Violent Outburst? I won't be able to find binding if I do. If I draw a red card off the Beanstalk trigger, it's pretty nice. Alright. Card advantage Fury here. So draw 4. Any Force of Negations? Okay, nice to find a Force of Negation. They got protection from everything, so we're not attacking. Have I looked at playing any Luris Sack stuff? No. This is no banlist modern, baby. Luris Sack stuff wasn't good when it was legal. Might be okay to let that resolve, but I feel like best practice with Beans is just interact. So do I want to get the last Beanstalk in play? Usually you don't, and then I can't pitch, and then although it would be the extra 2 damage would be relevant here, not super duper relevant. All right. Maybe I'm just gonna cast a Riddler. Looking for one of the other bindings. Although having Solitude for Shieldred is really nice. I think I will go ahead and shock this in. So if I draw a binding off the Solitude, I can cast it. Too many beans. Or Eldrazi busted. We played against them. I mean, so busted is kind of funny in this format because everything's busted. So at the same time, nothing is kind of all right. We don't want to be super soft to Shieldred. So I think I'm gonna force this Thoughtseize. And I think that if they didn't have Shieldred, they would have tapped the ring first. Okay, well, I was wrong. Any chance to Shelby improve with Yoran? I mean, there's a chance. I think it's unlikely, though. I think we don't need the extra cards, and we want the extra consistency. So they Chromox and print a Fatal Push. Then they play another copy of the ring. Yeah. If I evoke Solitude, I draw 5 because of the Riddler, but I would have to do it before I drew a card. I guess I could just play a land, though, so... Or, yeah. Okay, so I guess we'll go main phase, pitch Simian Spirit Guide, evoke Solitude, draw 5. Oh, sorry, 4. I don't know why I thought I was getting one more than that. All right. Oh my gosh, a lethal Violent Outburst. Cascade into nothing. Still good enough. Did not find one of the other 2 bindings, but Outburst lethal here. Crazy format. So we're up a game against Necro. Force of Vigor not hitting Ring is a problemo. Does hit Chromox and Necro. It does seem like Fury is pretty dead again. Maybe Fury is not very good in this format. I think I'll play like 3 Force of Vigor, 1 Subtlety, maybe 2 Subtlety for the Griefs. Getting extra blue cards is nice. 2-2. Let's do 2-2. Why not Commandeer for Beanstalk value? We're kind of too low on blue cards for Commandeer. We're even a little low for Force of Negation, but you draw so many cards, it's usually okay. You need a more blue card heavy build, which is hard to do. Why is Chromox nuts only in Necro, not most decks? I didn't say it was not in most decks. Chromox is good. Chromox is good. I think maybe it's overrated. I don't know. I guess I'm gonna keep this hand again. Although it did not work out very well last time. Chromox is good. It's like it just seems especially good in Necro, a deck that has like 4 ring, 4 Necro to not care about the card disadvantage at all, and really, really cares about the card acceleration. Oh, they are playing Shaman, so maybe we'll board Furies back in. Okay, could maybe Outburst into second, a B next turn. Do I care about this? I feel like this card is way worse for them than it is for me. Yeah. Let's go ahead and get Fountain and Warp Riddler. Draw two. We do give them a land for the Shaman. But they play a Bog untapped and then they do nothing. So, I mean, I don't know what that's about. So, if I guess I just pass. Although, I cannot Violent Outburst and Force of Negation because of the Damping Sphere. Sphere, Force, Spikes, your Cascade target. Yeah, I haven't got the Spirit Guide, thankfully. Maybe double Bowmaster. It could only be one Bowmaster with the Damping Sphere. Really weird that I guess they just playing around the Spirit Guide. I can't force. I guess I could force pitching Spirit Guide. No, I couldn't even. Okay. My creatures get +1/+0. Alright, let's just chill. They can ping me with Shaman. Ah! We could unban this little guy, I think. So let's hit the flute. So I don't know what they played this untap for. Maybe just like the murder effect. Do I even want to Witch Enchanter this Damping Sphere? I don't I guess yes, but largely because I just want to keep a blue card for I want to keep a blue card for Force. I'm not convinced that this card is worse for me than it is for my opponent, but we'll just take the 2-for-1 and keep it moving here. Do we think Wizards is using Q as unbanned? I don't think it's super likely, although it's possible. I don't know that Wizards cares about Modern anymore. So I'm glad we kept this. So I'm down to 9. There I still at 20 life. I can't quite draw an extra card off the Riddler because I've got too many lands. But Beanstalk lets me draw an extra card anyways. Will I play Resident Evil 9? Maybe. I'm very busy as usual, but I do like the series. I've played 4, I've played 2, and I've played whichever one had the weird family of like it's like the VR horror game one. I mean they're all horror games, but the VR one I played that one. The data here is certainly pretty unusable. I would think so, but I don't know. They might look at it. 7? Okay, yeah. I that was the first one I played. My roommate had I don't remember which VR it was, but my roommate had one and we all took turns getting freaked out. All right, so they drain me for 2. I'm down to pretty low life total. We could main phase the outburst. I think instead of doing that, we could just pay if they have another flute. So I think not fetch shocking is going to be kind of nice. All right, so we'll let them have the ring. It's kind of like a pathetic card advantage engine, anyways, compared to what we got. Although we don't get to gain any life off Solitude. See if we can find anything that triggers a bean. No, I mean, kind of. That's not exactly. All right, so we have Spirit Guide for the subtlety here, funny enough. So now they have 5 cards in their hand. Okay, now we don't have subtlety up. Might be casting some 3-mana 2/2s this game. My ability to flood in every format I play is still here at no banlist modern. Might be going to game 3. Why no cast subtlety? I was thinking 2/2/2s is better than 1/3/3, but maybe that's not true. Oh, they sack to deny the life gain. Good play. Oh. Yeah, maybe we should just run it out. There's also like a chance that we end up chaining a bunch of stuff together and we want the extra mana. I don't know how likely that is. Shieldred's unbeatable. Maybe I just need more subtleties if Shieldred is like this deadly, although I don't know how indicative of how normal that game was. Let's play one more subtlety, and one less Force of Vigor, since we've got the Witch Enchanters and the Bindings. We're also on the play. Maybe we should have boarded Fury back in because of Shaman. I think it's okay though. Don't we need Commandeer? Well, we don't have enough blue cards, so you have to rebuild the deck. I don't know that Commandeer is super duper necessary, but I think, listen, if I don't know what's going on in the format, I think y'all probably don't either, and we can just try to enjoy it, right? You don't want green mana. Is cutting off Fury moving too many 5-drops? I don't know. I think we still have 12, and I think that's an okay number, although it definitely felt like we were light on the 5-drops last game, of course. I think, again, the answer to most questions y'all have are, I don't know. It's a weird format. We're learning it together. Did Valky really get power cut by beans? No, it got the rules changed. So in no banlist modern, you can no longer play Cascade Valky. The one deck that was so good, it's banned even in no banlist modern, I guess. How close was I to including one Surveil land? Kind of close. Usually if I have 2 Triomes, I'm not loving it, but it was probably right to have one, now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more. All right, so we can have the Binding up. Can't cast it this turn because of the Sphere. Not that we're like dying to cast it anyways. How long it's going to be? I don't know. A little while at least. 4 weeks? Okay, thank you, Ash. No, we've seen Luris once. The Storm opponent was playing Luris. Wasn't super built around it. Quant for the 3 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you. So we do take a big hit. I remember playing against Shieldred with Beans. This is kind of funny. So they got 3 cards left in their hand over there. Low-key could be good to exile our own Riddler here, but don't think I'm quite there yet. We do have Force of Negation up thanks to the Spirit Guide, thankfully. Yeah, I think that Nadu is really good. The deck that's impressed you the most is Team Breach. That's interesting. Definitely would have not been my pick. All right, I think we don't do anything here. They pitched a Fel the Profane. Caramels, the 8 months, welcome back. They take the Binding. They have another Shieldred. Dude, Simian Spirit Guide cast Force of Negation is so fun here. Oh, I guess they couldn't cast another Shieldred without another land because of their own sphere. I think I might just cast a Riddler here. Get some beef in play. I think their Riddlers have been good. There was a little bit of a discussion if they would be. I wasn't really sure, of course. Still gotta deal with that. They of course put it on top. I can upkeep Solitude it at the very least. I guess I will instead end of turn. I go to 2. Yeah, I go to 2. So I guess I'm gonna upkeep it hard cast so I can try to find a white card to have a pitch cast available. They said a couple weeks there'll be a few challenges for this format. I think I might play those. I definitely might, yeah. Open to it. All right, another Subtlety for another Shieldred, and also for Force should lock the game up. Just a blue card, or Subtlety specifically, I guess. Not any blue card. Then we can also Solitude our own Riddler. All right. Violent Outburst buff would have been lethal. It would have been, I guess. Although couldn't they just block the agent? Is this a keep? I think we'll keep it. We have turn 2 Binding. We got a lot of beans in the deck. Well, the results of No Banlist Modern Moto maybe influence the next BNR. So a lot of people are asking this. One reason I think it's very unlikely is that people aren't going to really be playing very much with with cards that could easily be unbanned, and like no one's gonna play Burning Pod, Jitte, Punishing Fire because they fucking suck and they wouldn't even be good at current modern. Maybe if something like Deathrite Shaman had like a low win rate, then maybe. Although I just don't think this is a great format to base anything on necessarily. You're gonna have to look at the Moxfield Panda. Yeah, Top Flush Trigger is pretty cool. All right, interesting. Let's go ahead and get a Raugrin Triome. So they're a Grixis deck with no Luris. A second Shaman has hit the battlefield. The best card engine of today, and in the same deck as the best card advantage engine of all time. Yeah, let's I guess I'll play this so I could maybe get a basic planes if somehow they have Harbinger. Maybe that's not that important. Infernape with the 16 months, welcome back. It's taken 6 months. I finally caught up on all the YouTube videos since Image 3. That's crazy. Why would you do that? Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed those. Have we played Uro Gifts yet? I think we're very unlikely to play Uro Gifts, although boy did I like that deck. My favorite deck of all time. Yeah, I do think Max Power Boros could be interesting. I don't know. I don't know if you're gonna like Fury. Doesn't seem like a great main deck card right now. It seems okay, but yeah, I think Max Power Boros would be I don't know if it's just Raptor plus Lurrus. I think I would probably try Raptor Lurrus instead of playing Ring. Um, yeah, I don't know that it would be all that good. It's a little too boring for a format like this though. So they'll probably take my Fury here. I do have a Mystic Sanctuary Miracles build that I'm optimistic for. They take my Simian Spirit Guide. Maybe that was right. They have a Cruise. Cool. Chromux Boros. It's a little bit weird with Amped Raptor, but it might be good, yeah. There's just a lot. There's a lot to do. Format. I think the format is weirdly very open and cool and fun. There's a reason this deck has been like a fan favorite of gamers for a long time. Grixis Death Shadow. So it's a 4/4, so it survives a Fury. Don't think it matters a lot what we get. Maybe I should never have kept a hand like this without a Cascader. I think it might be okay. All right, let's start off by Fury, 2 damage, 2 damage. I don't know. Also, I don't know how they don't have Lurrus in their deck, by the way. Is there a Broken Skull Clamp deck? Yeah, but you could maybe put it in Nadu. I think I would try it in Elves when we get around to building Elves. Why does a 4/4 survive Shadow? Fury because they have a Verdant Catacombs in play. And the Verdant Catacombs guarantees that they can pay life to get it out of Fury range. Maybe they play Grief. Yeah, maybe Grief. Maybe Street Wraith, although I can't imagine that that's correct. All right, nothing to do. Oh, I guess I could warp another Riddler. Do I want to do that? Yeah, I guess I do, actually. Is Ravager Disciple Affinity good? There's like 0 chance it's good. Okay, not the worst draw. Did I remember to Giganta check my decks? No, I'm going to mentally Giganta check, though. Doesn't work for Phoenix, doesn't work for the Cloudpost deck, doesn't work for this deck, doesn't work for Oopsal Spells. Doesn't work for, might work for, no, it doesn't work for Storm, because I'm really on Stormscale Scion in that build. What's my other, it does not work for Miracles either. Why is no one playing 4 Misstep? Well, this deck we have no Cascade. A lot of my decks are playing 4 Missteps, though. I even have 4 Misstep in the sideboard. Teamer Battle Rage! Oh, man. I think I'm gonna like it here. I think I'm gonna like it here, chat. I think I'm gonna run it back also here. Something tells me I'm gonna like it here. I have Monastery Mentor over Lurrus. One thing about Lurrus, if we were to play it in this, us of Ring, if you were gonna play Lurrus over Ring and Mentor, like Lurrus bobbles, like you have to play Bobble. Bobble's not that good in Miracles because you have a bunch of zeros in your counterbalance deck, but also like you have a bunch of Turbidises in your Lurrus deck. It's just like Lurrus has never been all that good in Miracles, despite the fact that you can play it. Why aren't we playing Misstep? Because we're a Cascade deck. We need to be able to Cascade into Beanstalk every time. We don't want to agent into Mental Misstep. Also, our deck completely dodges Mental Misstep, which is fun. So one thing about saying, wait, dang it, nobody's playing Mental Misstep. We don't know that. I have no 1-drops. I have no 1-drops. They just can't cast their Mental Missteps. But I've got Mental Misstep in this deck. I have it in the Phoenix build. In the Cloudpost deck, my general thinking is that maybe... Also, I have in the Oopsal Spells deck. But my general thinking... Although maybe in Oopsal Spells, these should be Pact of Negations instead of Mental Missteps. I don't know. But in the Cloudpost deck, I have them in the sideboard. And I'm kind of thinking that in the matchups where Vexing Bobble is bad, Mental Misstep will be good. And you don't want to play them together. And I'm not really sure about that. Is Terminus the only Miracle? Is the deck just called Miracle now? I mean, most Miracles decks for a long time have only had Terminus because it's... I know sometimes they'll have played 1 and Treat the Angels and Legacy and for a long time. I think even when, like, looking back, You know, I played one Entreat the Angels in my Miracles build in GP Columbus, and I feel like I should not have had it. I feel like I should have had a so I think I'm gonna go put back a fetch line, get Raugrin Triome into turn 2 Agent Bean. I feel like I should have had a 4th Monastery Mentor over the first Entreat the Angels. Haven't seen any lands combo. Not yet. Not yet. Opponent does keep 7. Yeah, I remember Dark Depths was like the secret best deck in the format when Canister did his thing. Persist or Goria's Vintage Dreamer with Chromax Grief, Simian Spirit Guide, Once Upon a Time, fast and consistent. Well, I don't like that Once Upon a Time bricks on like so many cards, but listen, the whole format's really open. I think we'll be playing a good bit of brews. So I'd love to find a Solitude or a Fury off the Beanstalk draw. Yeah, they are playing Street Wraith over Luris. Kind of funny. Let's just go ahead and use the Solitude now. Yeah, the Riddlers have been good. So they scour themselves in the middle of Verdant Catacombs and Cruise. I gave them too much life with the Solitude that they couldn't play a Death Shadow this turn without another Street Wraith. Goodbye, Quantum Riddler. A lot of good draws. Yeah, I guess I don't really see much reason to attack against the Death Shadow deck here, especially with Fury in my hand. Can't wait to get into Westbound after my RC is done. Nice! Yeah, I think it'll be fun for you, Yindrik. It's been good so far today. They have a Cruise. They have a Cruise. 7 cards in their hand after this. How many cards does Affinity... With Affinity does Affinity run these days? Yeah, good point. You're talking about that Miracle deck, right? Yeah, so Affinity in no Banlist Modern, you get the artifact lands. You get the artifact lands, which they do make Thought Monitor and Thought Cast a lot better. But do you really get anything else? Like maybe you get Arkham's Astrolabe, maybe you get Oko in some builds. Nobody's playing Mental Misstep. Chat, they can't use their Mental Missteps. Wait, they left Mental Misstep in against my Cascade deck. That's funny. Would Affinity play another Mox? Yes, but Chrome Mox doesn't really work for the deck, right? Alright, I got a Binding for another Shadow we can get in there. Dang, we haven't seen a single Mental Misstep yet, says chat, as I play the Cascade deck. Risky against Force. Better against Spell Pierce, that kind of stuff too. Consign. Chromox used to be a standard Affinity staple. Wait, is Chromox imprint a card with a color, or is it imprint a non-artifact card with a color? I thought it was non-artifact card. Because like right now, what are you imprinting? If you can imprint a color, then maybe you can get it done. I don't know. They bounced the Binding? I mean, they didn't have Force last turn. I'm going to cast this now. It is non-artifact? Yeah, I thought so. So it's like, you can imprint like Thoughtcast, Imri, Sync. Maybe Sync is actually enough to like give you a density, but you probably need like 18, 20 imprintables minimum, something like that. They grab a Mire. If I attack them, they can't crack it. Brazen Borrower is funny. It's no Luris, we have Brazen Borrower. Also, the Once Upon a Time seems weird in their deck too. Immense Rebuke, Misstep, Thoughts. I don't know how many of these you get to play, but obviously Part of this is I don't know how you can build affinity, or like what opens up because of the artifact lands, like how much you get to pull back from the cheap enablers because of the lands. I've played almost none with like Seed of the Cyanod, so it could be a big game changer, but I don't know. Might be something we try. All right, so we're going to game 3 against Grixis Shadow. Trolled at 30 months. Thank you. Welcome back. It seems like they're splashing for once upon a time too. Maybe they've got some other sideboard cards. Maybe they'll cut the their mental missteps this time. Oh, Shaman too, right? Curious at which of our decks is worse. I think my deck's pretty good. They didn't see us Cascade Red 1? I thought they did. I guess they saw me just guess Bean. Hard matchup to mulligan in. Solitude is very good against them. I think I should still mulligan. Go to 5? I think I should have kept the 7. So now potentially I could go Agent into Fury, pitch the Violent Outburst next turn. They scour main phase. They mill a Thoughtseize and a Cruise, so no land in the yard right now for Shaman, although there's a Delta if they need the Shaman mana. Would love for them to play a second Shaman, I guess. Another Watery Grave, untapped. Scours again. Sorry for the little Canadian accent slip there. They're only at 13, so they can't play Shadow here. They do make a mana. Let's see if it's a blue for like a Cruise. It's a black. For a Shaman, maybe? Looks like a Shaman with the way they're pausing on the mana casting. Which would be perfect for me. Ah! Oh my gosh. Oh, sorry. Maybe I should have not got this. Because now Sacred Foundry doesn't let me agents. Dude, they have Cruise and Gurmag Angler in their deck. Nobody tell them about Murktide Regent. Oh. That's bad for me, though. They scour, they mill a Consign, they mill a Borrower. Taking the hit for now. They got 2 cards in their hand still. Oh, I was hoping they'd play a Shadow. Although, yeah, I was hoping they'd play a Shadow there. Now I cannot Violent Outburst, so I think I'm just gonna go Evoke Fury, Warp Riddler. Yeah, I mean it's not great, but it's where we're at. Seems like they've got some interaction too. Maybe they'll like consign the Fury ETB. We could draw Fury red cards. So I think I should deal 2 damage here too. Not very likely, but doesn't seem like there's a big downside either. I guess I shouldn't have played my planes yet, maybe. Alright, did they deal me 2? No, I warp a Riddler. I did draw Fury, but I didn't draw the red card as the other card. So probably chumping the Angler this turn, I guess. Cycles a Wraith. Yeah, Wand is probably really good in this format, isn't it? Let's go, dude. Probably dead. Spike, will you add this deck to the Mox? This deck is in the Mox field. Oh, it's not the command, though? I added it. Alright, our deck was worse. It is in the Mox field if you go to all the decks, although we're about to switch decks, I think.